Hey, you're watching the best show on YouTube. This is not the Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Colbert show. You're watching the right show coming to you live, which means you can leave a comment. I'll probably see it, might even pop it up on the screen. You can be part of the show. Now, look, Trump is officially not only the 45th, but the 47th president of the United States of America. Yes, slay queen. Biden is unemployed. Kamala back to her own tricks. Oh my God. We know what those old tricks are, by the way. And Kayvon Comedy, that's me. Sold out shows all across the USA. This is a Victory Lap 2025. Welcome to my page, you YouTubers and Facebookers, podcasters, and rock finners. We've done 130 episodes of this show, entertaining people around the world. We have this many fans. If you can read this, for those of you who don't have the screen on, 460,000 on YouTube, 235,000 on Facebook, 160K on Instagram and TikTok, which went down and then it's back and it might go down again and it might come back. So we don't know what's going to happen with that and we don't really care. We're just going to keep it moving. The Right Show is a support group for normal people, and my resolution was to do this show again. I took a break because I was boots on the ground helping Turning Point USA, Valuetainment with Patrick Bet-David's podcast, and myself go around the country and kind of preach the gospel that Joe Biden is an idiot, Kamala Harris can't do the job, DEI makes you DIE. If you believe that and you are on my side, then you're in the right place. If not, we can argue about it in the comments. I want to know right now, where are you from and what is your favorite Trump executive order so far? Because there's been so many. But on day one, he went right to work. Almost 80 years old, energy abounds. He's got more energy than all of the radical leftists who need their student loans paid for because their degree that they paid $200,000 for didn't help them get a job. Yeah, no kidding. Because you don't add any value to the marketplace. We have a market-style economy, capitalist economy. If you bring me value, I will pay you for that time. Radical leftist offers no value to the workforce. In fact, it might ruin your company if you have the wrong person working there. So my favorite executive order so far was when he worded it like this: we are going to release the January 6th hostages, which is completely over here because the far left, they're saying, January 6th terrorists, insurrectionists, murderers. So he took it all the way to here and said, we're going to start calling them hostages. Joe Biden's January 6th political prisoners and hostages. And that's what he did. So let's get your comments in here because you're as much a part of the show as I am. And I'm going to shout you out. Doc Brown, everyone was knocking President Trump. Just asking, wasn't Clinton a draft dodger? Great point. Actually, President Trump went to a military academy, then went to college, and he wanted to go into the military. And he went to the doctors, the experts. They found bone spurs and problems with his feet and ankles and says, you don't qualify for the military. That's back when it took a little to qualify. Now anyone can qualify for the military. But Joe Biden was a football star, a lifeguard, according to him, and totally healthy, and he dodged the draft. He made up the excuse that he had asthma. So Biden is a draft dodger. Clinton rode off into the sunset. I think he went to England and then to Canada, draft dodger. Kamala Harris refused to serve in the military. Hillary Clinton refused to serve. It's open to women. They want to show that they're the first. Do it. Didn't. And Barack Obama refused to serve in the military. Great question. Thank you for putting that up there. Of course, Alan Brown. Don is back in the White House. Bam, bam, bam. Love that. That is money. Zach Simrock says he can see me. All right, good. There have been 26 orders signed according to Millennium Man 75, and that is a record. And then someone else right here, Pamela Borgal, and you can actually see the photo there of Pam, agrees with me. Calling them January 6th hostages was great marketing, great wording, and it really reframes the argument, and people are starting to wake up. I saw a video of a kid who had turned in his dad, and he came on CNN. He's got long hair. Looks like he's about to transition. He's like, I'm just scared. I got a gun now because my dad's getting out of prison a little early. He turned his dad in for attending a peaceful protest. Now, if you broke a window and smashed something and fine. 3 months in jail, trespassing fine. Maybe you have to be on house arrest for 3 months. But to be in prison for 5 years for protesting Joe Biden, those indeed were political hostages. Moving right along. America is back, baby, says Michael Harrell. And I was one of the first comedians that was pro-LGBTQ. Let's get Biden to quit. We did it. Millennium Man remembers that too. All right, let's get started with the show. So much to talk about. But first, we sold out Batavia. Batavia is a suburb of Chicago. We call it Chicagoland because it's such a big area. And it's as close to Chicago as you want to be, where you're going to go back out to your car and it'll still be parked there. No murders, no fights, no nothing. Beautiful people the whole weekend. In fact, I'm going to show you a little picture of it. But that's what I want you to do. We do this show every week so you can see where I'm going to be and if you might, for the first time ever, want to see a comedy show. So here's where we're going to be at. Upcoming tour dates. Visalia, California, right near Fresno. Then we got none other than Salt Lake City, Flagstaff, Arizona, Bisbee, Arizona, Tucson, Rochester, New York, Temecula, Oxnard, Dallas, Edmonton, Canada, Phoenix, and San Diego. All that and more on kvoncomedy.com. And if you want to email me, info@k-voncomedy.com, I'll come to a private event. Why not? Private events are fun. You get your own group. You might have a Republican group. You might have the PTA. You might have a soccer tournament. You might have a Christian church. You get 200-300 people in your church. I'll show up PG-13. And you could raise some money for your own fundraiser. How about that? All right, check out this fundraiser from this photo from Batavia. How cool is it? I was on stage, and the people there were very cool, very nice staff, and they got some action shots. And these are the kind of shots you want when you do a comedy show. You want people to just see the photo and be like, I don't know what was being said right here, but I want to see that show. I want to see that show. Why was his leg up so high? Why was the guy pointing at his leg? I mean, this is important questions we have here. So feel free to go on, like I said, kvoncomedy.com and find a show near you. Let's check on the comments. We got to check in with you guys for a second. Look at all these. Oh, my goodness. Joseph Anderson, thank you for your service. A disabled veteran, and we need more aid from the thing that is not a veteran's affair. God bless Trump. Okay, so I think he's not allowed to speak against the VA, so he is using code wording. Semper Fi. A lot of people saying that. And that looked like a cover shot from Play Laugh magazine. I like that. Someone wrote, Soledad, the good thing for the Biden years is we found Kayvon. A lot of my videos went viral during those years. And I got to tell you, starting the show up again after taking a long hiatus while I did boots on the ground work, now I'm back in front of the camera, back in the seat. The Right Show, TRS, 330,000 views on one little clip from last week. So we're going to reach millions of people yet again. It's a lot of fun, and it is great to have you guys back. Okay, here's what I was going to talk to you about today. Before we go into the election stuff, which is very important, let us not forget about California, the mismanagement, and the fires that have started there. Now, put in the comments, do you think these fires were naturally caused, like lightning and then brush fire? Do you think they were maliciously caused by, let's say, like someone that works for BlackRock or some sort of a company with a lot of money saying, if we can burn down the whole coast, we can buy this at cut rate prices and build our own condos where there once was one house that was kind of dilapidated? We can build a 40-unit high rise and say, well, we're just trying to fix the coastline, which they ruined for. Okay. Do you think it was a homeless person who got cold in the winter, making some baked beans up in the hills, hit that little injection, fall asleep with the flame going, you wake up and go, ah, and you run away? Well, it could be a combination of all three. But I want you guys to see a homeless person was caught lighting a fire. And if you look very closely, the police pull up. But in California, the police are not even allowed to question the homeless. They could lose their job. And it looked a little something like this. Now look very closely. That fire has been raging for a second, but it's about to get a lot bigger. We're going to fast forward just to get there. That is a wooden telephone pole or electrical pole, whatever, and he's getting that fire going. No one's stopping him. No one's whooping that ass. We're going to fast forward a little bit. Now, the firemen come and do the job. He's just still sitting there, and he's going to peace out. Did you see that? So it's kind of hard to see, but what I did was I fast forwarded it for you. So he lit the fire pole on fire. You can see the flame kind of going. Police car pulled right up, kept it moving. You don't want to harass the homeless. They're going through enough. They're a protected minority class. And then he started fanning the flames. Fire department got called, put it out. He just peaced out. You know what he's going to go do? He's going to go do that again tomorrow night, the next night, and the next night. That is what LA brings to you. All right, that's the bad news. The good news is the more I tell the truth, the more my shows sell out because we're finding like-minded people. The Right Show is a support group for normal people. Check out the attendance. We sold out 3 shows in the suburbs of Chicago. Here's one of them. So there you go. So that's what it looks like when you pack a comedy club completely. And next stop, theaters, not just comedy clubs. We're going to go check on the comments, see what you guys had to say about that homeless burnout. Pamela says this was done on purpose. 3 fires started on at the same time. You can see it on the satellite. You can see them doing it. That's right. The government pays the homeless. How I know this? They did it in my town to change the direction of a road. Then they paid people in the cars to do the same thing. How can I pretend I'm homeless? Just get some free money. Soledad, I'm glad TRS is back. And sad that what is going on in LA is the exact same thing that went on in Maui, and NC never got the same support or coverage. All right, there we go. Now, we're going to move right along to the inaugural, the election coverage. This was the end to a crazy movie. If you've been, and by the way, it's probably not the end, but we think it's the end, kind of like Star Wars trilogy and so forth. This was the return of the Jedi. He is back. Donald Trump is here. First of all, Joe Biden is completely done. Joe Biden never really did his job. He didn't know he was president half the time. Every day he woke up and was told for the first time, "You're the president." He said, "Really? Not a joke." He's out shaking hands with the trees in the front lawn. And this was a fun video I posted, which got over 30,000 views.
And that's all, folks.
Now, nothing can make you more upset than when someone was anti-Trump the whole time, where it was popular to be anti-Trump. And then now that the coast is clear, they're going to make the money and, shake hands and high five the whole administration. I took all the barbs, all the slings, all the arrows, and got hurt. My pages shut down, shadow banned, and canceled through social media. People firing me from gigs because I spoke the truth the whole time. But someone like Snoop Dogg is now for Trump. Can you believe this? This guy was the most anti-Trump dude. He did a music video where he's shooting a guy that looks like Trump in the head in the music video. And here's what Trump had to say. Here's what Snoop Dogg had to say 5 years ago about Trump and the inauguration. And then he ended up performing for the inauguration this year. Look at the turn. See if you can notice it.
So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the fuck out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas doing it. Which one of you niggas gonna do it first? Osby's the one that performs for himself.
Here's Snoop last night.
There's Snoop.
He performed
like
at
he's
the
the
Crypto
first
Ball as part of inauguration weekend for Donald J. Trump.
Those
Someone
words he
snapped a
said.
pic and put it on Twitter as well.
There he is. So Snoop was the first jigaboo wham no, because he was mocking anyone that would dare perform at one of Trump's inaugurations. And yet here he is. Yo, y'all ready to hear? It's the Digo Double G by Digo Double G. You see, I love Trump. Always did, always will, always will be, and would be what isn't. Snoop, that was pathetic. You don't have any morals. You'll do anything for $1. And the fact that you supported the Biden and Kamala administration and now you're getting paid, that's something I have to take up with the Republicans. Stop opening the tent and letting these rats back in. I suffered. I should have performed for the inauguration. I earned it. That was my payday. Whatever you paid Snoop, I would have done it for 10%. I just feel a little left out, you know? The Republicans want to be loved so much by those who hate them instead of show loyalty to the OGs, the real deal. K-Von Mo Easy. Quit trying to be sleazy with Sneep Jigo Double GC. All right, let's see. Agreed. Deanna says you should have hired comedian K-Von. That's right. The two-faced cowards are coming out of the woodwork. That's right. And that's hilarious. All right. Well, we're going to move right along. I'm not going to, at the end of the day, it is nice to be on the right side and to be accepted again. So not being called a racist, sexist, bigoted, Islamophobic, homophobic, Nazi is nice. And that's why they want The Rock and Snoop Dogg and Mark Zuckerberg to all be here, because now your grandma, your aunt, your uncle, they're all like, well, I guess it's okay. The coast is clear. I can be, a fan of Trump now. So whatever. I see what they're doing. Just don't really like it all that much. Okay. There we go. All right. Moving right along. Trump was able to, which was amazing, have that inauguration, and his speech was epic. And he called everybody out in a nice way while he's trying to get unity and sanity back into the White House. And it looked a little something like this. It was a Trump speech like no other, concise. Everybody was happy. Everybody looked good. It was indoors in Constitution Hall in the Capitol building. That same place, that rotunda, which we had a peaceful protest in 4 years prior. Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well, thank you very, very much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices of the United States Supreme Court, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, President Biden, Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
What's wrong with that? That's all we wanted all this time. America first doesn't mean everyone else gets zero. The better America does, the better the world does. When America is strong, Israel doesn't get attacked. Russia doesn't feel froggy and jump into Ukraine. China doesn't send a spy balloon. And all kinds of problems don't happen. So that's all we ever wanted. And at my comedy shows, I've been teaching people how to do a good Trump, okay? It's really fun at my shows because whether you like Trump or not, when I teach you how to do the impression, you can have fun with your friends. And the first thing I teach is you're always measuring. Other people are small, some are middle. I'm always big. I go big. Okay. And then you yell the first part. You always yell the first thing you say, and then you trail off into a delightful whisper. And that's how you hypnotize a crowd of people to pay attention. And you lull them in, and you win big. You're going to win so big. That's what we're going to practice. I want you to practice that at home. Start with the arms. Work on the yelling the first part, and then trailing off into a nice little whisper. No reason to yell when you're in charge. Okay? Beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Right Show. We're keeping it quick because I have to go to a show in Phoenix for a private country club. And then I'm going to Visalia near Fresno. Visalia, it sounds like a Mexican eye drop. Can you not afford Visine? Get Visalia. Oh my, you hit me with my eye. All right. I'm going to show you me doing a Trump impression. When you get it done right, you can do it on TV. And this was the Huckabee show. I met Huckabee, who is now the ambassador to Israel. So if I send him a little message, I may get a free, all expense paid trip to Israel as a comedian to kind of show that we support our allies. Take a look.
Remember the Chinese spy balloon? It left China and it came here, and Joe Biden didn't find out about it till it was over Montana. By the time he got down to the Situation Room, they shot it down over South Carolina. That would have never happened under Trump. As soon as the balloon left Beijing, he'd be awake, 3 a.m. What's happening? A balloon? I'm gonna tell the people, bring the cameras, bring the fake news, get in here. I've just been told there's a great big balloon coming from China, folks. This is not a regular balloon, it's not a birthday balloon. A Chinese spy balloon. Horrible. One of the biggest balloons you've ever seen. Absolutely huge. It's absolutely fantastic, this balloon. We have very weak leaders. They're not popping the balloon. I would have already popped it by now. You put me up there, I'll pop the balloon. If we don't pop these Chinese spy balloons, next Mexico will send a spy piñata like you've never seen before. Believe me. You guys have been amazing. I've been K-Bone.
Yeah, standing ovation on TV. Yeah. So, what I'm asking for you guys to do is please tell your friends to come to the shows live, because I was early on supporting what happened. I'm not Snoop Dogg, Johnny come lately, like making big money because I'm on the right side now. I went through the trenches. I got hurt the most probably of any comedian. No agent, manager, TV, sitcoms, movies, LGBs wanted to work with me because that was not tasteful at the time. So now is time for the victory lap. Please tell your friends to come to a live show. I tell truth through comedy. I wake America up with laughter, and we do it in a fun way with a smile. You can find all my tour dates, or just go on the newsletter, k-voncomedy.com/newsletter. I send one a month, and they include free tickets. Visit your local podcast provider. Give this show 5 stars. Let's read a few more things and get out of here. Monica said, yes, you did, and you are. That means I supported what was right first, not when it was popular. It's not a birthday balloon. Now, someone says come back to Tacoma, Washington. I would love that. Someone says you should get a vanilla scented feminine wash. That would smell delicious. Remind me of ice cream. A lot of people are supporting the show right now, and I appreciate you guys. Always fun to get together. We're going to do this once a week. That way we're not bombarding you with tons and tons of, oh, this will happen. No, we have the best roundup of news stories of the week. We make you laugh. Tell me what your favorite part of the show was right here, right now in the comments. I'll put them up while we say goodbye, and enjoy a little walkout music as I plan for my comedy tour this week. Peace.
What?